Okay, I'm joined here today by Nate Chen, MYishinyA. Thanks for doing this interview, buddy.
No problem.
So, if you want to give yourself a little bit more of a detailed introduction.
I'm shinyA, an American Protoss player. Played Brood War competitively for a long time. I play mostly PvTs. I was on USA national team for a while. Started SC2 like when it released. I never played beta. Ever since the beginning, I was like pretty high ranked in world rankings, and then always in the top 200 and stuff like that. And been Grandmaster like 6 times in North America. So
Nice. When did you start playing games? Like not just StarCraft 2, but kind of if we go way back to when you first started liking video games. What did you first play?
like when I was 12 or 13, like I just always walked to the arcade. I just spend like after school, just spend all day there. I'd always just play like Initial D and Tekken Tag and stuff like that.
Nice. What's your favorite memory like of those times, like of playing games when you were younger? Like, is there one specific game or one specific time that like really stands out to you as being the most fun that you had?
Well, like when I would start going to the arcades, like that's kind of where I realized, there's like competitive aspects to video games, and that's what kind of makes me like video games. Just like competing and beating people. So like back then, you get your quarter, and if you win, you keep going, so you don't got to keep spending money. So I don't know, just remembering like going on and beating like 5 or 6 people in a row and not having to spend extra money.
Nice. Just like the roots of like your competitive play. What's your favorite game of all time?
It's either Initial D or Brood War.
Okay, cool. When did you start playing Brood War? Like how many years did you play for? Obviously you played at a pretty high level, but how long did you play Brood War for?
Like I played on and off since probably like 2004, 2005. Like I would switch. I get bored pretty easily of games, so like I would grind out a lot of games and practice a lot, and then I just quit, and or maybe go to like another game in StarCraft. Like I played like fastest map when I would get bored playing real StarCraft. So I would kind of get involved in that, or go to Dota, or go to something else. But I always come back to Brood War.
So on to StarCraft 2. Why don't you talk a little bit about your race and kind of, obviously, anyone who's watched you play in the ISTL or in ESEA knows that you have like a little bit of a different style than a lot of other North American Protosses. So why don't you speak a little bit to that?
Like, I guess my mindset behind StarCraft has always been like I like to play styles to where it's not like gimmicky, but I like builds where there's free wins that I can get, like kind of like win clauses sort of thing, to where for example, like I always throw up cannons at a Zerg natural, like standard, because I can get free wins from it, but it doesn't like set me behind that much, and it takes Zerg out of their comfort style. They have to pull drones and they have to get out of their timings. They can't just play by looking at the clock. So like I like builds like that, and I like unique builds, something that'll set me apart. I don't like just copying other people.
Yeah, kind of taking people and pushing them out of their zones that they're usually comfortable operating in and making them make bad decisions and stuff like that. I know you're one of the most exciting players on the team to watch. So what's your favorite build and why?
Probably my PvZ build. It's just like a 2 base mothership with like 11 gateways, charge out Archon, and then I just take a third and sit there. Or like sometimes I'll attack. I mean, it depends on what I scout, but I like that build because it's like Zergs don't know how to react, and especially like on ladder, there's been so many hackers lately that I like doing builds where even if you're hacking and you know what I'm doing, like you're probably bad, so you don't know how to kind of like respond to it. So I'm never gonna get just hard countered by hackers and stuff like that.
Love it. So even if they know exactly what you're doing, doesn't even matter, you're still gonna beat them.
Pretty much.
Cool. So now we're gonna look at a replay that you have prepared for us. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're about to look at, and then we'll start the replay and get going.
This is like my standard PvT build kinda that I've been doing a lot. Again, it kind of has win clauses. It's like I go Nexus first, and then I go 7 gate, and then like right after I build my gateways, I take a third, and it's just kind of I don't know, there's like a lot of different aspects to it because it relies on basically what the Terran does. Like if the Terran scouts the 7 gate, then I have a third to back it up, and I don't have to be aggressive. If they scout the third, then they're probably going to be too greedy, and I can just kill them with the 7 gate. If they don't scout, I can kill them with the 7 gate. So, I mean, there's more times when the build is going to be successful than like the only time that it's really not successful is when Terran plays not greedy at all, and my tech's behind, and they can hit a timing. But it's like more successful based on their builds than not.
Okay, cool. So we'll start up this replay here in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright.
And we're just at faster speed, obviously. So you are the blue Protoss playing as Oops, and this is just a ladder game, right?
Yeah, it was just like the most recent game that I did it. I don't know. I do this build a lot, so I went to my last PvT. This was it.
Okay. So what kind of things, like if you're doing this build, or is this a build that before you go into the game that you kind of like decide that you're going to do as soon as you see that loading screen when it's a Terran, or is it the kind of build that you do when after you scout him and see exactly what he's doing and then you choose to do it?
I mean, it depends on who I'm playing. If I don't know who I'm playing, I'll do it every time. But like some people know that I do it, so then I'll get like proxy tier out since it's a Nexus first.
Okay.
So it just depends. But I mean, beforehand I can almost always do it. It's not something that I'm reacting to because it's like when you start with the Nexus first, there's only so much they can do, and then if you live past the Nexus first stage, they don't like try to all in you, then the ball's still kind of in my court to do the 7 gate.
Okay. Okay. So what? Obviously, you've already spoken a little bit to the 2 racks proxy. Is that the worst thing that can happen in this situation? Like if you open up with this Nexus first, with this plan that you have of doing the 7 gate and then taking your third, is there any kind of red flags that you see where, if the Terran does something, you say, okay, I need to change my game plan?
If I scout, I scout really late when I do this because it's like there's not much that I'm going to scout that can change, especially on a 4-player map. Like if I don't scout them first, then I'm just wasting mining time because I'm not going to see anything and I'm Nexus first already, so I'm already committed. So then it's like if I don't, I'd have to know that they're not going expansion. Like if they're going gas and I know they're going gas, then it would change it, but I usually don't get that information.
Okay. So right now Sonic has put down, he's done kind of a super eco build as well, and he put down his command center right away before his barracks. So is this something that you like seeing from him? When your probe now obviously is going to go and scout him, what are you thinking at this moment when your probe goes into his base and you see what kind of build he's doing?
I just want to see, like, the goal is to see if he's expanding, and when I see that he's going CC first, then I know that like he's not going to be aggressive, and then when he scouts my Nexus first, he's likely to be even more greedy. So it's great for me because I'm already in the mindset that my 7 gate is probably just going to kill him because he'll see Nexus first and think I'm just being greedy, which I mean I am. Like 7 gateways is, I mean, I can get a lot of gateway units, but I'm being still really greedy eco-wise because I'm not teching at all. So I'm getting a huge probe count, and I'm just making zealots and sentries with my 7 gate. So I don't know. I just know I'm going to be aggressive with it.
How dangerous is something like, I mean, I don't know how prevalent this is at higher levels, but anyone who's a little bit lower level, maybe gold, platinum, diamond rank who's watching this tutorial, if let's say Terran opens with gas and goes for something like a cloak banshee, can you deal with that with this build, or is that something where if he just does that it's almost like a free win for him because you don't really have any kind of detection or really any units when you do this build?
So if I see that he's going gas straight away, then I won't do 7 gate. I have to get a robot because I like getting immortals against like 1-on-1s and stuff like that anyway. And you obviously need Observer to stop Cloak Banshee. So if I see them going gas and not an expansion, then I obviously get a robot and I don't continue on with the 7 gate. But then if, like, say he went like Cloak Banshee from here, like he went like CC first, Cloak Banshee, the timings come out to where he'll have like 1 Banshee out with Cloak, and my 7 gate will be hitting his front. So I don't know, like usually I'll win. The Protoss player usually win there because the Banshee's just gonna run out of Cloak. and you don't. I mean, it's not going to do enough DPS to kill a whole bunch of Zealots.
Right.
But if he goes straight like one base, and I say like he gets a bunker up at his natural ramp, and I can't like confirm if he expanded or not, and then he goes Cloak Banshee off one base, yeah, it's auto loss.
Okay. But when you're doing that initial scout, if you don't see an orbital command at his expansion and he's fully blocked off, at that point, how do you respond? Do you take the risk and continue on the build that you're currently doing, or do you go to somewhere of a happy medium that allows you to get that robo down or get something like that?
Like I still just 7-gate.
Okay. And that, in your experience, has been successful more often than not, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, because on 2-player maps, for one, it's really easy to confirm whether or not he expanded or not. And then on 4-player maps, it's like you're basically just saying, alright, so he's got a bunker at his ramp. What are the odds that he's one basing? And I mean, in the, like, I don't know how to say it, like, the amount of ladder games you play, like, you're going to face just expansions more, at least than the players that I play against.
Yeah, at this level, at least, for sure.
Yeah. I haven't faced a 1v1 or a 1-1-1 like I don't think all season. I've played like 300 games.
Okay. So your third Nexus is going down now. Is there any kind of timing at this point that the Terran can exploit now that you've put down that Nexus, or is the fact that you put that Nexus first down, is that going to keep you safe against any kind of medevac or anything like this? I guess he's not even close there yet. His factory just went down now, so
yeah, he won't have medevacs out. But so basically, like, this build, like Terrans will do a lot of like say they go CC first and they'll go like 5 racks Marine push or something like that. This build stops it and like completely counters it because I have 7 gates. So like once they move out, I just roll them over. So I mean, like coming up and attacking right here, like if I see him with like a lot of units, or maybe if he walled off completely, then I'll just back up and then rally to my third, and he sees all these units and he probably just thinking I'm not winning him. So I mean, this build doesn't have to win right here because I already have my third up.
Okay, but this is obviously doing a ton of damage right now. And to be honest, like it looks like this is just gonna.
Yeah.
But if it didn't, it would be okay.
Yeah, because like he's still pretty far. Like he sees Nexus first, so his reaction is gonna be to be greedy. Like he's trying to get upgrades. His starport's super late. He's got stim. He's got a third CC, and he only had 2 bunkers and not a wall. Okay. So like a lot of it is kind of just deception from seeing the Nexus first. You're not gonna think gateway all in.
Right.
And then even if he does, like say he scans as soon as I throw down all my gateways, I still have my third to fall back on, and I just don't attack. And then he overcommits to defending a 7-gate because he doesn't know if I have a third and he thinks it's an all-in.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thanks very much. If anyone has any questions, feel free to just leave them down in the comments section of this video, and we'll answer them as quick as we can. Also, you can tweet us. We're at Team MYI, and our website's www.my-intent.net. And anywhere you post a question to us, we will answer it, and Nate will answer your questions if you post them down below. So thanks a lot, everyone, and see you later.